Welcome back, everyone, to Creaky Sounds Simulator. Ha! I actually found it. I got a guy that's doing some soundboarding stuff for us, and one of the things he suggested, since we have a Viking theme, that we should have potentially creaking Viking boat noises in the background for our starting and ending parts of the stream, which actually I believe would be piece of resistance. So, I mean, it is honestly freaking perfect hiding in the background. And I mean, for the most part, I think I might actually, I kind of like it actually, so I'm thinking if we can, like cut it and just loop it in. It's so subtle and perfect. I'm just gonna share this content out here. Bear with me 1 second. And it's out there. My content is live. For how long, we don't know. There we go. Creaky noises are up. Alright. F with you, on with you, and over! And here we are, back with some Farming Sim. My brain is just mode tonight, so I figured with everything that went on today and all the crap and whatnot that I'd just sort of mellow out and play some Farming Sim for you guys. I do have to do the be right back thing. Probably at about 2 hours from now. If not sooner, if I have to go to the bathroom. Which is a high probability, actually. I mean, that is definitely a high priority half the time. So yeah, basically this episode is me mellowing out on a Saturday night and just getting some stuff done. Because obviously we have tons of contracts that we can be doing, which are all bailing. At some point in time, I do want to buy 38 here, and I do want to put up a mill and all that fun jazz as well. And of course, that's all got to happen before June. We're in May right now, but it's got to happen before June. Before oats start coming off, and barleys and stuff like that. I think it's actually just oats. Nope, it's barley. Barley is the first thing to go. Off with your head. And then next month is our cereal grains and stuff. So we got a little bit of time, sort of. It's sort of, kind of, almost. But yeah, no, we've got some serious grass to mow down in places here. This is ready. This isn't. But yeah, canola's looking good. Oh yes, right. Speaking of which, we're gonna hire this guy out, and hopefully he's over enough that he catches that guy for weeding as well, because it is actually taking the weeds, it's taking the weeds out of the crop, yeah. I sprayed the rest. I had to spray the rest. But if we can catch it in time, I mean, this is ideally perfect. So 92 needs to be cut. We know this. I'm hoping 93, 94, and 95 I can do the same. That's kind of my project list tonight. 93, which is bale and wrap. 94, which is bale and wrap. 95, which is bale and wrap. So yeah, let's just go boink. Excuse me, I wasn't finished down here. And the smoke brick could just suck my balls. So, let's go find the right implement. There it is. Let's go down and do some swathing. Some swathing on the radio. Now, I did see that these are all wrap qualities. Like this one is a wrap, is going stave, going to the stave, and this guy's going to the mini biogas. So 93 and 94 are all going to the stave. It is going to be a stave and good time. Could you move? If that happened in real life, you really just want to take a frickin' axe out of your, or hammer out of your frickin' swather and just whip it at their windshield, going, "Get the out of the way, you frickin' knobs." See, swather shouldn't be taking the ditch. It should be all the other morons. And by the looks of things, no, he wasn't over enough. I'll set him up so he is. And then that way we get the weed problem done. And we can move on with our lives. I'm hoping tonight, at some point in time, I'm swathing frickin' oats down so we can start combining. That is my ultimate goal for this evening. But if nothing else, we'll get 3 frickin' things done for swathing. And yes, Field 92 is mine. It is. I actually don't know about this. I own that, but I don't think I own the land around that. No, I do not. I'd be 38. I do not. Otherwise, I'd mow the frickin' ball diamond, too. Nice guy, right? It's for the kids! Yes. So this one, this is my own. So I don't think I'll bring the other rig down to do this one, but I think we'll just disconnect, hook up, and bail the other ones and get that done. I see that my my lovely chat window has completely buggered off again, and I'm starting to see a pattern here. Annoying pattern. Annoyance of a pattern. Now normally I actually go through the trees, but these trees are starting to grow up, so it's getting to be a tad bit difficult. Ooh. Go there, I see something I can collect. Now that I know what the hell those things do. For the longest time I never did. Why did it take me 135 episodes to figure it out? Yes, dismiss. I know it's 8 o'clock. You don't need to tell me 7 times. Looks so different without having the other oil facilities, but I mean the other one makes way more oil than what these ever dreamed possible. And these ones are actually just generators. $80,000 gets you 2 generators that produce about $250 a month each. So I mean I got 2 of them, so that's $500 a month. That doesn't seem like much, I get it, but I mean, save what you will, but it does work out, you know. God, I miss swathing. I missed combining and swathing this year. I missed it last year. Well, no, not true. I did do some of it the year before. But this year I missed it entirely. I actually did some combining late at night. But that was about it. I did not get the luxury of going out and swathing my cousin's fields at all. And I miss it greatly. I don't know, there's something with it. I just can't put my finger on it how in general I enjoy it or whatnot. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. But what I can say is it's to me it's relaxing. Like, I mean, sitting in a swather all day. I mean, this one doesn't have auto steer, but the new ones do. Sitting in a swather and just going up and down the field. I don't know. It's relaxing. It's like mowing. I can't explain it, but it's relaxing. The problem is, with the mowing of our area, Dad tends to take it over and does it for me. And, I mean, it's great. I don't have to do it and all, but I don't have to, find the time to do it, which is great in some regards. But the downside is, and this is the part that sucks, I enjoy it. It's like I'm getting cheated, man. I really kind of actually enjoy it, and I don't get to do it anymore, so it's like, ah, crap. But oh well, I mean, at the end of the day, I guess I really can't complain about it. But same thing with swathing. I don't know what it is, but I've always found it relaxing. But I remember the first time. Well, we all remember the first time. In any regards, because it was the first time. Of course, that's one thing we can remember. But yeah, no, I wasn't very old. I was maybe 8, 9 years old, and the guy that was operating it had an emergency call, and then he had to burn into town for whatever reason. I can't remember what the reason was, but I remember specifically he goes, oh geez, I'm gonna have to drop you off and whatnot. I gotta go into town. It's an emergency. And I went, well, go. Right? And even at that age, the sensibilities were like, I mean, it sounds important, go. And I looked at him and said, we've still got like half the field left, or 3/4. I can't remember if it was half or 3/4, but I remember it was one of those. Either we were halfway done, or we were a quarter done and need 3/4. Anyways, there was a good portion of the field left, and I said, just go to town. I'll finish up here, and then I'll just shut the swather off in the corner of the field if I get done. And it was like, yeah, okay. I mean, you know how to run it, you know what you're doing, so yeah, okay, no problem. Let me let your neighbor know, the guy that actually owns the field and that, because he was a hired hand, and said, yeah, I mean, let him know afterwards what you did, and I'm sure you'll be appreciative of it. And yeah, I actually finished that day. I don't think Dougie ever did come back that day. I can't remember all what happened, but I think it had to do with his wife, but I could be wrong with that. Anyways, I remember I stopped and locked it up around the corner, and I went home. Of course, this is the days way before cell phones were a thing. And I went inside, and Dad wasn't home then. He was overseas. Mom was, though. And I said, yeah, I did the swathing. Dougie had to run into town, and I got to phone the neighbor, right? And say, okay, well, tell him what happened. And I can't remember who came out. I know somebody came out and said, hey, we're looking for you. Something happened and whatnot. So I can't remember all the details, but all I remember is I was the one that did the field the first time. And I've loved it ever since. Actually, it might have been my cousin that showed up, because I remember somebody came up with a pickup truck and waved us down. And I remember my neighbor too. He goes, oh, so you finished up the field? I went, yep. Swather's sitting there. Keys are not in it. I have the keys, but everything's locked up. He says, well, how much of the field did you do? It was half, because I remember that part. I said, by the time he left, I did the other half. And I remember the neighbor went, okay, cool. Yeah, I'll be over later for the keys once I find out what's going on with who's it there and whatnot. And I said, okay, no problem. And yeah, that was also one of the first times I actually got paid as a farmer's helper. I wasn't expecting to get paid. I just enjoyed doing it. So it was like, this is free entertainment. Well, it wasn't. I got paid. It was something stupid, too. From then on, too, we always had a really, really super good relationship while working, too. All the way up till we retired from farming. No, it was a lot of good times. Because I remember every year onwards, it was like, hey, we're getting ready to do harvest again. Do you want to come out and help? And it was like, sign me up. Sign me up, coach. So yeah, every year I was out there helping. I did all the local area fields were what I swathed for the canola. I know I did those ones. Something tells me I also did not only those ones, but I also did. When did I start combining with him? Because he was one of the first. No, he wasn't. Oh, he wasn't. He wasn't the first one I started combining with. First one was my cousin. And then it was him. Same season, I think. It was the same season, but I remember being in a combine with my cousin first. And that's also the same year I learned how to drive the most annoying axle in the history of anything. And that specifically is the Eaton axle. To this day, I hate Eaton axles. That is the most piece of crap frickin' shifting garbage truck thing I ever drove. And that was the first truck I learned how to stick shift on. And I mean, my cousin was right too. He always said, and he said it right up to the very last moment that truck survived, and that was right till the end of, if you can learn how to drive this, you can drive anything. He wasn't wrong. Holy crap, that thing was a piece of crap. And for whatever reason, like, this thing gobbled through not only diesel fuel, it drank fuel like it was going out of style. But not only did it drink the fuel, it also drank the oil. And the closest thing we could ever figure out why it was doing it was when you started it up from a cold start, even if it was like 30 degrees outside, if you started it up in a cold start, per se, it basically burned all the oil out of the sump. And that just left you with all this shit. And we always went, this truck is a piece of crap. Yeah, it's fine. Keep running it. Like, I mean, when you're rolling sort of whitish blue smoke, not coal, you knew something was not quite right with her. But I remember that because it was a tri-shift. The first one had 5 gears. Then the middle range had weirdly 3 gears between like low, mid, medium range. And then to flip up to your highest point was your other 5 gears. So it was a 13 gear. It was a stupid truck. And it was a Mack. It was an old Mack. I think that one also had the 8.3 in it. I mean, once you actually figured out how the Eaton axle worked, you were laughing, because, I mean, you wanted ultimate low gear, you had it, man. The first 4 gears of that thing were like, pretty much, even in top range of your 4th gear and bottom end low, yeah, that was magical. You could basically move at a half a mile an hour. But whatever you do, don't forget which range you're in, because, I mean, when you shift that baby back down, you go from mid-range gear ratio back down to nothing, and if you had a full load, you'd get stuck. Didn't matter how dry that field was, you got stuck. Oh, man, I hate that friggin' truck. Yep, stuck again. Well, what'd you do? I shifted from mid-range to low gear, oddly. And of course, nothing was ever labeled. It was basically like, okay, this is how you do it. Just shift into this. By the way, you don't need a clutch anymore. The Eaton is so soft that basically just slam it in what you think is a gear. It should work. Well, it did, sort of. In the retrospect, it sort of did. The only thing worth shifting on that farm was an old Massey Ferguson tractor. I can't remember if that was a 950 or what that was. I can't remember the serial on it. Or the model number. I remember it was an open cab. I remember it was actually four-wheel drive. Oddly enough, it was, well, not four-wheel drive. It was front-wheel assist when it decided to assist you. Sometimes it was questionable whether it really wanted to do anything. I guess I could have done that with the other side, but oh well. Oh, we got these ones swapped already. Okay, this is so tight I'm missing it on both sides, but who cares? It's fine. It's not my field. Yeah, that frickin'... I never in my history have ever been on a tractor that didn't have a parking brake for one. Or one that worked. No, actually no, it never had a parking brake. There was just no parking brake. So it didn't have the evil sin of parking. And it was the kind of tractor that you very much should have parking brakes or something on, because if you left it alone for a while, it may not be in the same location that it once was when you return. Even though it was sitting in neutral, it would just... It had enough of a frickin' knock and a rock to her that the shift would actually sort of rattle itself into, like, first. And it would just go, oh, I'm now in first, bye. One day we found it halfway in the frickin' field. In amongst the trees. That's how I learned how front wheel assist didn't work. Not well. So there was always a rule of thumb. If you're using the Massey, which we all did, for the augers, because I mean it was small. This thing was small, nimble. You can wheel it around pretty. Like I mean, front wheel assist off. Even though it was Armstrong steering, it was not power steering. It was Armstrong, but the back end was so heavy that you could literally turn that front steering wheel with one finger. So it was super soft on the front end. It was really nice for that. So you could wheel 100-foot frickin' auger in pretty much anywhere with this stupid thing. And just... You set it up, you rev her up into position. So your auger can actually, move the grain. And then we... Basically what we did is we chalked the wheels. Like, in a sense, like, you go, okay, it's like an RV trailer. You chalk one wheel and you should be fine. No. No, I made specialty blocks on ropes so you could chalk all four wheels. Because this, when I say the front wheel assist didn't really help you any, it didn't. It tried to kill you a few times if you were to wear. So it decided in its ultimate wisdom, for whatever reason, that it was going to, multiple times, if you didn't chalk all four wheels, the wheel that you chalked would be the ground anchor. The other three would go, all right, we have the ability to shift. And it would basically turn into a three-wheel drive tractor and burn donuts with a frickin' 100-foot auger behind it, running into bins and whatever else you've got sitting there. I have fond memories of things getting crushed by this stupid tractor. I only did it once. It only happened to me once. I learned pretty quick that this thing is out to kill you. But again, it was the perfect tractor to wheel in a friggin' any kind of auger. And actually the grain bag, the bagger too. The tractor was big enough it could handle the bagger and the vacuum. It did have a few other issues beyond that, which were extra special. But yeah, no, you have to. The rule of thumb is you back up to your bin, which we eventually automated. Otherwise, it was okay. Which one of us is climbing the really icy frozen bin to pop the lid because the rope broke? That's why we switched to chains, and then we switched to little mini winch cables that basically we strapped to the bottom, and we would go ticka 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 ticka, and it'd lift the lid and put the lid back down as we weighted it. I mean, that worked out really well. But yeah, no. So you back it up, get it into position. I still actually have one. Actually, I have one right here. It's not 4K. It's only. What the fuck are you? It's Potato Vision. It's 480. Anyways, it's a little camera. It's a 480. I mean, nowadays we take it for granted with having these little cameras that are 4K. This one is literally 480. So, I mean, it is potato camera. But it was enough of a potato camera that I could visually see. Yeah, we'll do the automatic drop. It was enough of a camera view that you could see where your position of your auger was, and it would also tell you if you're filling up a truck, which was really handy. It would tell you how full your truck is getting without you climbing up on the side of the rice, you freaking truck, and breaking your arm. That happened to my cousin. Oops, I forgot. Oh, it's all the way back here. Alright, first one will be over there. Yeah, so, I mean, it worked out well for that. That's... Actually, truth be told, I think I almost stole this stupid thing. No, I didn't. I bought them. Never mind. I say that actually honestly. In Comtech, when I went to school, which was freaking eons ago at this point in time, they were just coming out with not really camcorders, but the micro cameras. I mean, this thing is compared to a 4K Casso or something like that, which I have one of. These things were about the same dimensions as your cell phone, except a bit thicker. They're basically the size of a digital camera, okay? But they could take fairly decent videos, and the battery, because it was basically a brick, would actually last a fair length of time too. And you could remote it. Remember, we didn't have cell phones. Well, we did at that point. I had an old Nokian frickin' football phone, you could say. That thing you could use as a lethal weapon for the size of it, if you could lift it. I think the thing weighed 10 pounds or so. But going back to it, what we did is it had like a remote function, and it was like Wi-Fi, but I can't remember how it worked, but it was using a radio frequency that you could use as one of the first freaking automation systems. Trying to think, because that would have literally been early 2000s. Late 90s, early 2000s, so it was like one of those old, almost like a CRT monitor, but it picked up radio waves. So that's what we used. It was like, okay, this is like dumbed down what we do nowadays, but I mean, it worked, right? So it was cutting edge technology for farm life at that point. that of course his grandfather and his father thought it was a load of hooey, and you should just climb the ladder like we always did, and you should just, crash into it, because, I mean, things then were sketchy. And yeah, we'll guide you in, and you'll get up there and do everything naturally and whatnot. And I mean, we look at it now, and we completely take for granted everything that we achieved then, but now we basically drive onto the pad, dump the grain, drive away, and the whole automated system goes, that's grade 2 barley. I'll put it in bin 4 for you. Yeah, life's good. We honestly take it for so much for granted now for what systems we now have for farming. And I mean, a lot of old ways with farming still makes more sense in the way things are done and stuff like that, and it actually is better for the environment, and I'm talking the old ways, right? But I say that, but technology has definitely improved work safety on a farm, and it's also really drastically improved efficiency. So, say what you will, but I would have to say, and I've talked about this before, and I'll talk about it again, there's a lot more science in farming now than there ever was before. And I'm not just saying that, it seems to be that way. I mean, some of the dumb things we used to do and everything else, we always go, oh, well, you guys got away with a lot of crap that you shouldn't have ever even tried. True. I mean, we're not denying it. Some of the things that we used to do with farming is just a little sketchy. Wait, don't get me wrong, there's still things that are questionably sketchy, but because sometimes you just got to get things done. But for the most part, I do believe a lot of the stuff that we're doing now is definitely a lot more efficient and a lot safer. And technology has definitely improved that. Which is good. I mean, sooner or later, we do gotta smarten up in ways we do things. And the one discussion we've actually had recently in the after hours of farming, doing exactly what I'm doing tonight, actually, oddly enough, a lot of us have talked about it recently, of how we can better perform with the ground without killing the ground, because that is one concern that we're all now talking about. It's okay, ground, if you don't take care of it, has X amount of years of performance before it basically becomes stale and you can't grow anything. And I mean, yeah, it's great. You can use fertilizers. You can use different kinds of acids and stuff like that to try to revive the soil. But a lot of it just boils down to practice. What kind of farming practice you have. And we were talking about things that we can do differently now that are more in line of what our grandparents did, like minus the fact that you basically just poured chemicals on your field. That part was not good. But what we're saying is, so our grandparents never did zero-till. The equipment, and this goes back to the technology thing, the equipment wasn't capable of doing zero-till. But what we've even talked about now, it's like, there isn't much. There are benefits, don't get me wrong. There are lots of big benefits of doing zero-till. One is fuel consumption. You can cut your fuel consumption down by a very large margin. I don't have numbers in front of me to tell you what margin it would be, and everyone's different based on the equipment you run. But it does does make a difference. And the biggest thing that we're finding now, and even not talking about it, is soil compaction. So you run zero till for like, and some guys have done it for like 20 years now, right? It has not done the soil any justice. If anything else, the soil is now so hard packed. They're now finding it. The water isn't penetrating the soil correctly. Stubble isn't breaking down the way it should be. Besides the stubble, there's a lot of stuff actually that's causing issues in that. But even what my cousin is saying is going, okay, so what if we say spend $1 and cultivate based on the fields? Like, okay, for example, canola is one of the hardest ones to break down. The stalks are thicker, and mustard, mind you. Brown mustard's the same kind of plant, really. So, if we ran the power disc, basically, down the field after you have a harder field to break down, and we cultivate it and bust up the field in the fall. Your cereal grains now, like your wheats, your barleys, your oats, whatever you have in there, basically disc harrow. That's what I'm thinking of, disc harrow. We use a lot of disc harrows around here. Not really plows, but disc harrows. So now if you're looking at it, you're going, okay, so if we can, in theory, take our hardest fields to basically decompose. We disc them up, and then we do our normal crop rotation. It does a few things. One, and he's actually tried this last year, and he's told me what he even noticed the difference after they did the soil testing too, because they've been doing a lot of that. He did not have to worry about the water table as much. He planted durum wheat on it afterwards, and the ones that he dissed, and he says what a difference it made. He says the field wasn't as compact. The stuff rotted over the winter. Because it was dissed up and broken up, those fields actually melted quicker with very little runoff. Like he says, I mean, we have a dry spell right now, so we don't have a whole lot in terms of. Let's go down and come back. We don't have a lot in terms of sloughs as it is, but like he says, no matter what, every spring we have a certain amount of runoff. And we didn't have it where it was running off and soil erosion was happening, and that just the water soaked into the field. And because it soaked into the field, not run off down the slopes parts and stuff, it actually you got a way better durum crop in it than anyone else in the area. And he says, I think that has a lot to do with cultivating the field. And from what I've seen, I would have to agree with him that, yeah, that make sense. And the other weird placebo effect that he's noticed is the field itself didn't require as much fertilizer to plant. And he says, I don't know if that was necessarily because the straw had a chance to break down into the soil more or what it was, but he says, yeah, it didn't cost them any more in fertilizer. And he's like, he figured it out. He goes, when you consider the fuel to do the disc harrowing in the fall versus the cost of the fertilizer, it's actually cheaper to cultivate than it is to use the fertilizer. Which, again, I thought was really kind of neat. And it's just what we're finding out in the area, right? So it's like, we can do the zero tills on the regular cereals. We can save time and money on that. But when it really breaks down to it, It doesn't hurt to cultivate the fields every couple of years. Okay, we are done with this. Actually, since I have the big baler on, I know it won't wrap the one. Is it the 180s? Yes, 132s one. Crap. I forgot about these. 125s, 150s, 180s. I'm sure the 180s don't wrap. I mean, it goes into the frickin' stave anyways eventually, so what's the difference now? Other than this is a tight corner. Some jackass made it with the swather. I'm thinking it probably won't wrap. Holy crap, it does! Okay. We have one extra bale. But I don't want wrapped bales right now. I want to be able to use those as stockpile for winter. Okay, I guess I'm grabbing the other unit. After we finish these ones, of course. Mine doesn't really necessarily have a time limit on it when I need to do it. The other ones are contracts, so I've got 3 freaking contracts. Which, yes, I am only going to haul one at a time. Then again, we have all freaking night to do this. Like I said, the only biggest thing that I'm gonna have to do at basically 10 o'clock is put the Be Right Back screen on, because I have to go feed the cat. And believe me, he wants to be fed. You'll be able to hear him rattling my door. It's very particular that way, I'm telling you. And I'm not going to tee off a 17-pound cat. He's lovable and all, but... And unlike last time, we are actually not going to plant ourselves right beside the frickin' stave. We're going to actually do it the right way. All 3 of them are actually... Okay, we're good. I don't know which one's which. Pretty sure I know which one is the BGA. Out of my way, it's peasant. I'll pick up the random 180 though. Total silage weight is silage weight. Who cares what it is? Oh wait, mine won't be silage yet. That's right too. It'll be fermenting. These ones, however. Well, there's 5,500. There's actually quite a bit out here. There we go. So yeah, no, I have actually a lot of fond memories, and this is actually kind of one of the funny things of my life, is when I was really actually quite young. And this was eons ago when I was like in grade 1, which I mean literally eons ago. I remember this, and it was what you want to do as an occupation, and there was a wide array of stuff going on. There was everything from I want to be an astronaut to I want to be an engineer, or things like that, and like other things, doctor and stuff like that. There's only me and Benno, the one guy I went to school with, and I remember in grade 1, he specifically said the same thing as me. It's like, not the same thing, but same aspect of things. He specifically said that he wanted to become an airline pilot. Oddly enough, nowadays he's an airline pilot. So I mean, that one worked out. He's a hell of a good pilot by the sounds of it, so I mean, kudos to him. But yeah, no, I said I wanted to be a farmer, and I wanted to be a carpenter. I said, well, do you want 2 jobs? I went, you can't make it as a farmer, so, I mean, all the farmers around me that worked, they did the same thing. I'm gonna try to save the BGA to last. I knew what it meant by fermenting stave. That's this one in the corner. But I can bring the tractor down here, so I'm just gonna go like this. I'm gonna hit Shift I. It's all here. Cool. I can't see behind me. Probably running into a tree. Running into the freaking silo. Out of my way, tree. This is just way easier. Okay, he's free, so I can do this. Grab the tractors. I need to go for a walk. Yeah, no, I said, yeah, you can't, you gotta be a farmer. Well, that worked out because I'm the kind of farmer that doesn't have to pay any bills. I naturally can just go, yeah, sweet, and it's fine. Oh yeah, we still have the other freaking tractor to freaking get going. We ended up doing the swathing, and then we ended up doing the Heimlich-Oiben on the other part, and then we did the other part, and then we did that, and we have completely forgot about that guy over there. I think my forks are over here, aren't they? Yes, they are. Okay, nope. I want to turn the forks around. Turning the forks. There we go. That is more turning of the forks than I... Oh, that's not good. Oh. Turn back around. There we go. That works. I think I can skewer them now. Haha. Gotta do this area at some point too. But I gotta get rid of those contracts so we can do some harvesting contracts when they come up. Because I mean, we gotta do them, man. Well, I'm thinking of it though. Let's zip out to this guy, which needs to turn around. He's actually parked in my other field. That's groovy. Go at it, boy. Get them weeds. Okay. Back off to what I was doing previously. There it is. I can't lift these ones by hand, so I need the tractor. This is a big tractor. Compared to my little one that I'm used to, this is huge. These bales don't affect this one bit. I'm sure affected the skid steer, but this tractor? Yeah, we're good. This is not the right one. Looking at it's the other one. So I came over to this one for no apparent reason. Oh well, I guess I'll just move these one at a time then. Shouldn't take long. Yep, this is the one. 22% with one bale. Well now. That's not going to take long. You know, these forks and even the bucket and everything on this tractor look so tiny in comparison. That's one thing I was going to look at, see if I could actually get a bigger implements for the bigger tractor. Look at that. It's good to be a bigger tractor. I could hardly lift 5,500 pounds of the first frickin' bale with the skid steer. This tractor, 11,000 pounds or 11,000 liters in it's like nothing. Oh, crap. Except for the fact that I'm an idiot and I bounced it. Alright, steer here. There we go. Okay, over. And in. Look at that. It's like we never dropped them. Except I'll lift them up so they're not sliding off. Big freaking marshmallows. Oh, crap. Slow the tractor down. What does this do? Yep, slide. That roadway's a little bouncy. Been some big equipment come through here. Quit hopping. So that's 79. So probably one more bale, right? Since I'm averaging 22 and a half. I think it's 22.5% a bale. Okay. So that means I'll have 3 bales left. Oh yes, I could technically haul these all to the mini BGA, but I think because we're doing a lot more bale wrapping and everything else, I think probably one of the best course of actions that we can possibly do right now is sell them. We need the extra funding as it is for all the other projects we're thinking, and we need it for the equipment, because instead of leasing all the time, we're going to start buying equipment. Yes? No? Is it? I didn't see a message. Ah, it's done. Okay. I don't think that's that one. Let's not finish that one yet. And I say that for one specific reason. And it's kind of a big one. I picked up all of them up off of 93. 94 still has all the bales. I'm not going to collect that one until I'm good and farking ready. Okay, who's it over here? Is he able to take on bales again? Oh, why didn't I use the camera on that one? No, dummy decided to overdo it. Oh, can I take all three and save myself a trip? I so hope so. Spread those a little. You know, it's extremely heavy. I mean, give her the beans! There we go. Okay, it's loading nicely. I have to take this tractor, by the way, to the other farm, because the forklift is over on the other one. As soon as I collect everything off of field 94, then I can claim that one, and probably the other one's 93 anyways, so I mean that one will work out. That is a rough ditch. I mean, this tractor is awesome, so we don't have to worry about that, but a rough ditch. So I'm assuming 93 is the other fermenting stave and the place, and then 95 is the mini BGA. Okay. So being that we finished off 94 first, even though the bales are sitting out there, took 4 bales. 4 bales. That's it. We got 3 extras. Being how fast this one drives, 53 kilometers an hour isn't that bad to go from one part of the farm to the other. I do like having the animals different from being all over here. I think I got a really nice setup. I mean, it's taken us, what, 136 episodes to get this set up. But yeah, it's not bad. Like, it really isn't. Okay, another thing. Got to move this truck out of the way. And I like my automated system here. That is nice. Alright. One of these is not like the others. Nope. We'll get to him though. Now if I hit this ditch, are they gonna move? Yes. Can I? Okay. I have to move away from them and then go again. Alright, you annoying friggin' driver. Out of my way! Frickin' swine moron. Okay, we had to do it like that. Apparently doing it with the tractor doesn't work. Alright. Back to 94 we go. Probably again take only 4 for the other one. Dum 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 dum. Big truck to turn the corner. Like I said, I would love to have a truck like this. I don't know what I'd ever. Well, I shouldn't say I wouldn't know what to use it for. I bet this thing would be frickin' awesome to haul material on. I bet I could haul it like a whole frickin' shop package and everything on it in one load. Right now, I actually had to. The last time I hauled material, I had to do it in 2 loads. For one, the trailer I was using was a lightweight, only 7,000 pound, and I mean we loaded 5,000 pounds of weight on it. So, yeah, it was a bit full. Then the other thing too is the truck is. I mean, I could have, if I had a proper trailer, and depending on the length of it, and it was a gooseneck and whatnot, I probably could have done it all in one load with my truck. It's big 3/4 ton. It can handle 10,000 pounds. I mean, it can handle actually 10,000 pounds even pulling it on the back end. So I mean, that's not a problem. I've got room for 2, 4, 6 maybe. I've got 6 bale. Okay, cool. Let's try it. Okay, well, field 94. We can collect. So, I mean, technically, yes, my truck can do a lot. And I kind of foolishly thought, too, to myself, going, you know, I do have the old 1-ton cube van. I could have... That thing is capable of hauling all of that in one load. Hands down. I thought about using it and everything else, but then I would have to hand bomb it on and off, which would take twice as long as what we did in snowstorms and everything else. And that, and I would also have to get registration for it, because right now I've actually... Oh, no, we are full. How do you know? I have to come back for 2. So it was like, okay, so I could do it in one load with the cube van, which I still gotta sell. I really gotta hunker down and see if I can sell that one. The problem is I never used the stupid thing, right? So why am I paying for insurance if I'm not using it, right? So, should sell it. Anybody want to buy a cube van? It's a heavy 1-ton. It's not even a regular 1-ton. It's a heavy 1-ton. Full 16-foot box, full height. It's got a 6-liter Corvette engine in it. There's a story behind that one. So yeah, okay. There's a story behind that one. So I was fairly young. I needed a work truck. And I figured, okay, like my uncle, I'll buy a cube van. Makes sense. I just have one vehicle, like a personal vehicle, and I have a work truck, right? Good plan. I don't have that anymore. I got rid of that idea because it started to cost too much. But it was like, okay, when you start thinking about it, it's like, yeah, this makes sense. I'll just get a cube van. So I did. And, I mean, this thing was 3 years old, right? So, I mean, I didn't even see a hard life. I couldn't find one around here that was worth a pinch. Like, nothing that I would even consider acceptable, right? Oh, yes, we gotta go the other way. Most of them around my area had 400,000 kilometers on them. They wanted like $30,000 for them, and it was just incredibly stupid, right? It was like, I can't afford like 30 grand to buy this Q van, and it's got like 300 to 400,000 kilometers on it. So what's gonna break on it? Because I mean, it's seen things. No, this is stupid, right? And then somebody told me, I think it was my cousin, said, there are auctions in states all the time. We might want to think about buying one from the states because they're cheap. And I mean, 2000s again, right? Oh, 93 is finished. Cool. Okay, well, I'm gonna haul this one back, and then I'll pick up those again. So yeah, I was like, well, crap, you know, this makes sense, right? All right, so I go on one of these live auctions, which is no, it wasn't. It was a live auction, but it wasn't an online thing. There wasn't really online bidding at that time. Basically, what you did is you saw lots, and you put in what you thought was a ample bid, and you say, okay, so like, it's this much, right? And it's like, yeah, okay, and it's this much. Well, I did one of them, and I freaking lost. And it was like, you know what? I'm gonna hire somebody to do this for me. Best idea I ever had. But crap, I do it myself. I'm just gonna hire us out. So I did. I actually hired. There was a local company around here, and I said, "Here's what I want. It needs to be a 1-ton. It needs to be a full 16-foot box, full height, because I'm tall. I want to be able to walk around in it. And if you can, a ramp on the back. But if you can't, don't worry about it. I can figure something out." And they said, okay, what's the price range? I said, I want something with low mileage, but I'm willing to pay for low mileage. I mean, they said, stuff around here they want like 30 grand for. And they all got like 400,000 kilometers. And they said, yeah, we know, we sell commercial vehicles. That's usually what you get. I said, I'm willing to pay like 30 grand if I get a low mileage vehicle. And they went, okay, well, I mean, that makes sense, right? And I remember there's one few things I can actually remember. I remember him going, okay, I'll see what I can do. Oh, a little while later, didn't hear anything. All of a sudden, I get a phone call from him and saying, hey, there's another bid up. He says, we're actually going to buy a bunch of these as a lot deal. So we're just going to bring up a pile of them, and we'll let you know. We'll get you to come in and take a look at said vehicles, and you can choose which one you like, and we go from there. And I was like, okay, cool. That sounds like a hell of an idea. Got them as a lot deal from actually from Penske themselves. They were selling off because they buy brand new ones, and they only keep them for 3 years, and then they sell them off, right? So it's like, oh, I got a Penske truck, right? This one, when I bought it, it's 68,000 on it, and it was about 18 grand. And I looked at him and went, this is fantastic. He says, you know, here's what I paid for him. He says, here's the out-of-country stuff, because I have to pay to get the out-of-country done. I went, yeah, no, that makes sense. And he says, and not going to charge for the out-of-country to bring it up or anything like that. So you're only paying the conversion rate, any repairs that are needed to be done on the vehicle, which were a couple. I mean, it needed new tires, so they put new tires on it. It needed a new windshield, they put a new windshield in it, so it would pass the inspection. And it's like, yeah, okay, whatever. It needed it anyway, so whatever, just do it. They did it, and yeah, I drove away like 3 days later with it, and it was like, oh, fantastic, right? So a little while later, probably about 2 years after that, I wasn't having any engine problems, but I was starting to blow out. Wasn't really smoke, but I was, it had a big puddle of oil underneath it all the time. I mean, not a small puddle, it was substantially large puddle. Like, you'd put in basically a quart of oil a day. And I'm going, this isn't good, right? This is this is pretty expensive. Keep putting this in. I gotta take it to my mechanic. Take it to my mechanic. Goes, yeah. You have a rear seal blown out of the back of the engine. Basically, and he says, this is a conundrum. And I said, why so? He says, well, we got to pull the engine to get at the seal, right? Which usually we have to pull the engine, we have to pull the tranny, we have to do this, we have to do that, because there's no other way we can get this frickin' thing to do the repairs. So said, yeah, okay, this is gonna be expensive bill, right? It's gonna be probably, 10, 12 grand. I can see it now. And he goes, let me get back to you on this one. I said, what are you thinking? He goes, well, I don't know if you've noticed, but there's a wrecked freaking Corvette in the back. I said, no, I've noticed. I said, the story with that is, instead of hitting the deer, he lost control and smushed a guardrail. And he goes, yes, that is pretty much exactly how the story goes. But it was one of the newer style Corvettes of the time. And where he smoked the guardrail was nowhere near the engine, so it was like, you have a choice. And I said, oh, what's that? And he says, what you could really do is we could put this 6-liter, it had a 6-liter in it, but it was just a 6-liter. We could put this supercharged 6-liter LS2 in this frickin' cube van. And he says, that way, because he says the only thing I wanted to keep out of it was the engine, because the guy never paid us for anything. So he says it's ours now because we've had it for like a year. And I said, yep, I see it. 89%. Well, we need one more bale. One more time. So he goes, yeah, it's ours and we want to get rid of it, but we don't want to throw away the frickin' motor out of it. Tell you what, we'll do a fair swap. We'll sell yours because once we put a new seal in it, that engine's worth about $8,000. It's actually, a big workhorse of an engine was actually worth more than the Corvette. Weirdly. Because it was a compact one. It fit in a cube van. It has to be smaller. But yeah, the Corvette engine, 6-liter Corvette, with the supercharger, fit bolt right and ready on the cube van. I mean, what can you say? It's a very unique truck. And the surprise of a lifetime that everyone gets to. Like, I mean, I don't know how many times somebody has sat in the passenger seat of this van. And, it's sitting there, it's idling, and it's going tuk 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 tuk. And it runs beautifully, right? You get out on the road, you gotta remember, I have about 7,000 to 10,000 pounds in the box most of the time, right? And you fucking stomp on the gas. All of a sudden, this frickin' 6-liter V8 supercharged comes boiling to life, and you just fucking slam into it and just... and it moves. And the priceless moment is always looking at the guy next to you going, what the... Oh, but it even gets better than that. So, I used to have a lot of fun at traffic lights. Again, I've got anywhere from like drywall to bits, pieces of wood, to all my tools and saws and everything else I'm on top of a car, aren't I? Yes, I am. Yeah, no, I've got all the stuff in the box and everything else, and you stop at a frickin' red light, and this one time was actually a Porsche. I mean, the Porsche could have kicked my ass. I mean, yes, okay, I've got a nice engine, I got a supercharger in it and everything else. It's basically a sleeper in a monster form. But regardless of all of that, you still lugging all that weight, not to mention the weight of the truck. The truck itself was 4,000 kg, so 8,000 pounds, right? Not a lightweight truck. yeah, sitting at the light, and this kid with this convertible Porsche comes next to me, and I mean, this thing, if you had a decent driver, could like launch in a second and be gone, right? Like, I mean, I am stuck on a stupid stop sign. So yeah, no, in a heartbeat, yeah, you'd be completely wasted by this thing. However, what I noticed was this was basically Daddy's car, from what I can imagine, and inside of it was this kid that was probably not more than about 16, 17, and he had a super hot girlfriend and everything else, and he's revving her, he's goosing her up on the side, right beside me, and going like, yeah, I'm gonna show this guy this fucking van how fast I can go. Well, me being me, bit of an asshole sometimes, but I mean, me being me, I just kind of looked at him and went, alright bud, we're gonna see what you actually got, right? Yep, light turns green, I stomp on the gas, I'm freaking gone. This Q van just goes roaring right beside him and past him, just gone, right? And the kid pulls up to me and turns rapidly left-hand corner and just gone. He got out of there. He couldn't help the embarrassment. His girlfriend is beat red, everything else. What I didn't know was there's an old fucking codger behind me in a pickup truck. He pulls in beside me, he looks at me, and you could just see grin from ear to ear going, ha 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 ha. Oh, that was worth every penny to watch. And I could see it from his perspective of, this kid is just freaking revving the engine, he's showing off to his girlfriend, all this, all that. And as soon as the light turns freaking green, this freaking Q van just launches off the line. I had some good moments of that. Hey, we got 67,000 by that, by the way. Don't know if anybody else noticed that. I was in the middle of my story time, so yeah, we made 67,000. We're actually $66,000 away from breaking even in May, which is actually pretty decent, I would say. Bales, yeah, we're up to 135,000, down from the 1.5 we made, but I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at. Like, we did spend 382,000 on equipment again. So, say what you will, we have spent the money and we're breaking even again. Which means we have 618 we made. Let's pay this off another 50. So we'll have 16. Yeah. There. Yeah, that was a little bit more. But still, not bad. We're still paying down our debt pretty reasonably. Yeah, no, that was definitely a good moment. You never suspect a Q van just to go roaring past you and the sound it makes. Like, I mean, it's so subtle. It sounds like a normal freaking work engine when you're driving along. It's just that like a normal V8. Then all of a sudden when you hit the gas, that freaking V8 comes to life with that freaking supercharger and that whine. Like, I mean, you know she's a supercharger, and I can't remember what it is. It's not like a 3-liter Whipple or anything like that. I think it's like a 1.5 Edelbrock or something like that. I can't remember what those old 2000 Corvettes had in them. I know it was supercharged, but obviously because I have a supercharger on it. But yeah, no, it's hilarious. All of a sudden you start revving up a freaking Q van, and all you're hearing beside you is wait. You're going, that sounds like a freaking supercharger whine. It is, actually. But I mean, I love the engine and everything else. I would love to pull that engine and part it out and put it in something else and that, but I mean, at this point in time, I'm done with the Q van. I need to move on. That's one of the reasons why I bought the other truck. Actually, it's one of the only reasons why. Well, two. I needed the write-offs, but yeah, the biggest one was I needed dependability. The other one's getting old. it needed some work recently, so I need to put some time and money into it again. So it's got less than 300,000 kilometers on it, but I did put those miles on. Putting them on a newer truck too, but yeah, no, I mean, I find too, like, having the smaller 3/4 ton, even though it's still a giant, it's way better on fuel. I don't understand why people say, "Oh, that's a GM. It's got a 6.6 liter. Those things are gas guzzlers." You clearly don't know what you're talking about, because I don't know what's. Well, I kind of do. I chipped it, so. I mean, I'm not getting like Toyota mileage, but I mean, I've got ample amounts of torque. I've got a massive amount of horsepower. It is a freaking powerhouse underneath that hood. It runs like a top, and it's so quiet. I'm knocking down probably city-wise, it's a little bit less, and of course, if I'm hauling material, it's quite a bit less. It is a gas jobber after all. It's not like a diesel. But it's still stupid. I'm still getting about 18 miles to the gallon. City, and probably anywhere from, depends what I'm hauling again, but I can get like 22 to even all the way up to 26 miles to the gallon, especially if I'm long hauling. And for a big frickin' 6.6 with 3/4 ton and the amount of crap I haul, that's pretty damn good. Or at least I think it's pretty good. I think I'll hit her back. Why am I? This is even my field. Where the hell am I? Oh, it is my field. It's over here. Yeah, that's what he did there. Yeah, so no, I really, honestly, I cannot complain about that truck at all. Compared to the Q-Van, I mean, yes, I got a Corvette engine. It makes cool sounds. It's fantastic and all, but I mean, on a good day with that Q-Van, I bet I was doing about 10 miles to the gallon. On a good day, when I'm running lower and emptier. But for the most part, most days, I think I was doing anywhere from like 6 to 8 miles to the gallon. I mean, she drank fuel. And, like, I use card locks all the time. And, I mean, I went from my little Sonoma, which didn't use, well, I didn't think it used much fuel, but once I figured it out, it was stupid. That had a 4.3 in it. 4.3 Vortec. That little stupid thing. It wasn't my first truck, by the way, but I mean, that one, well, I averaged about 40 to 50 liters to fill it up, and I never go down to nothing. Remember, I always keep it to the point where I can actually. Am I getting all of this, or I'm leaving some of it? I think. Go ahead more. So I was going, yeah, okay. It's only using 40, 50 liters of fuel. That's not bad. I can work with those numbers. Till I started averaging it out, going, okay, well, you know, you average kilometers and you figure it out by miles gallon, everything like that. That stupid little truck was only getting between 6 and 10 miles to the gallon. So, no, it wasn't doing well. It was doing just marginally better than my Q-Van. So, not good. At the end of the day, not good. Not good. So yeah, that didn't end. That didn't end well. Then after that one, for about 4 years, I had a Nissan Titan, and it was actually a pretty decent truck for a while. until, don't worry. But it's just my debit machine. And, yep. Batch file closed. We're good. That Titan had a 5.3 in it, and that one took about anywhere from 50 to 60 liters to fill up. Remember, I never get it down real low, so it's basically everything is about a third of a tank and up. And that one actually got surprisingly decent gas mileage from what I was used to, so it averaged anywhere from basically 14 to 18 miles to the gallon. And I mean, it did things that truck was never designed to. I mean, it had a towing capacity of 12,000, and it generally always hauled between 12 and 14. So I had and one time 22,000, which was a very sketchy drive. We did it very slowly, but we did it. It was the only vehicle I had to do it, unfortunately. So that was an unfortunate side effect, but it blew an engine, and it was basically like, it blew an engine. What else am I supposed to do with this thing? So I traded it off for the new one. I got basically almost what I paid for out of it, which is weird for a blown engine and everything else, but I mean, okay, whatever. That truck, I really actually kind of liked it. It had a really good ride quality to it. It was very comfortable. Other than the engine blowing up, transmission was a little funky. It was definitely a little weird. Mind you, that could just be me because I wasn't used to the 10 speeds. But nothing against that. It was actually a decent truck, I thought. And blown engine could entirely be my fault too, because I chipped that truck too. And before I chipped it, it had a bit of a louder knock to it in the first place. And chipping it, the knock went away, but then I always had O2 sensor issues with it, and I also had compression issues with it. And I never chalked it up to, okay, maybe the engine's dying. No, it was, it's still working, right? Traded off, and then the guy drove about 10 feet from it, and it went kaboom. But, yes, it's because I took the chip out of it. I still have that chip, actually. I mean, if I wanted, I can probably sell that thing. I mean, it's a used chip for 5.3, but also has the controller too, right? Now the new one, like my truck for the 6.6, that chip itself was dirt cheap, and then I don't actually have a controller with it, as I got a program for my laptop. So it was a once in a lifetime payment. I think it was $129 or something like that for the program, and I can do my own tuning with it. And that is actually I believe it's an Edelbrock. I think no, it was actually a GM Authentic. It was an OEM thing. I mean, the chip I thought was reasonable. Maybe some others might not, but I mean, I thought it was reasonable. Then there's my one cousin that goes, I should chip my truck. He's been saying this for 5 years. I should chip my truck. Would it give me more power? Yes. Would it give me more torque? Yes. Better gas mileage? Depends on what you do with it, but could be. I mean, if you can keep your foot out of it, yes. I mean, more torque gives you, obviously, the engine doesn't work as hard, which means you're not burning as much fuel, which everything adds up. So we actually did get those 3 things done. I can now take who's it down? We can finish up our stuff. It won't take long. We've got actually a lot done tonight. Oddly enough. I think my first vehicle was also the Sonoma, but that one had a 2.8 in it, and honestly, it was gutless. All to get out, it was gutless. You could stomp on the fuel, and it might think about it next century. But I mean, that was a fun little truck. I've had a few vehicles. I mean, we also used to buy vehicles for $100 from farmers and just thrash them. Those were fun back in the day. That's how a lot of us actually in the area and local farms learned how mechanics and stuff. Was we bought a junker and we fixed it up enough that would run. And that was our go-to vehicle for the longest time. It was just, okay, just run until it broke and then buy another one, right? They were cheap. And not that we actually... None of them were what you call registered or insured because they were junkers. And it was a period in time when the cops knew what we were doing. And didn't care. We didn't drive them on highways. We just drove them on the country roads, and we still respected the rules and regulations and laws and stuff. So it was like, we know what the kids are up to. We know they're not racing and we're doing much with them. So it's like, yeah, okay, whatever. Did we do races with them? Yes, we did. But that was all closed. Wasn't public roads. It was all closed areas, like old farm sites and stuff. We never endangered anyone purposely. Actually, here's the funny thing. When we were talking about this, neighbor and all that, he used to do lawnmower racing, and well, I used to do ice lake racing, right? Don't do any of it anymore because health and safety and regulations and everything else now is just too strict. Too many woke liberals. Yeah, we used to do all that kind of stuff. I mean, was there drinking involved? Yes. Was there a lot of hootenanny and other stuff? Yeah, there was a fair bit of that. But everyone was safe. Everyone would always just have a good time. I don't remember a time anyone ever went to the hospital. Like, were there some bad accidents? Yeah, we pull the guy out of wreckage. We do an initial... Most of us actually had first aid, so it's like, okay, well, don't move your head. We need to take a look. What's the size of your pupils? Obviously, they're glassy. You've been drinking. Obvious things. But any pain? No, we're good. We always wore protection of such and stuff. We all had roll cages in the vehicles. Like, we did, when we raced, we did try to do it as safe as possible, to the point where it was like, okay, we're not, the only ones we're endangering are ourselves. That was always the way we thought about it too. It's like, the only ones we're actually hurting in any of this racing is ourselves. And we're having fun doing it, so why? And yeah, no, we all had fun. Nobody really got hurt. I mean, other than maybe a broken arm once in a while or something like that. Half the time, ice lake racing, it wasn't because it was an accident with the vehicle that broke the guy's arm. He was trying to get into his vehicle after taking a piss on the side of the ice or something, and he slipped and twisted and broke his arm then. most of the time, that's actually what happened. Wasn't in the vehicle, it wasn't a car crash, it was just stupidity. There we go, we're done with that. Man, I miss those days. I did that for 4 years? Yeah, 4 years. I just like racing. Just down the road from us, like near a valley, and there was a lake, and you know, you'd wait till the ice got about 2 feet thick, and then you'd get a bunch of guys out there and make a racetrack, and then you just go out there and you go thrashing. It was fun. And here's the really dumb part is, and I'll say this honestly, and a few others probably say it. You want to learn how to drive on ice? Do some ice lake racing. You learn pretty quick what you can and can't do on ice. And I know there's a whole bunch of frickin' wokeism going out there going, well, that's too dangerous. You could have really killed yourself with it. Yeah, probably could have at some point, but never did. I mean, there was one race that I ended up scooting across the finish line upside down on the roof, but no injuries. It was my own stupidity. I hit a ridge. There was, because this was a fairly narrow lake, there was a almost like an S-bend. It was actually more of a chicane coming around the final approach to the finish line, and yeah, it was a chicane because it was an S-bend. And if you didn't slow down enough and you tried to do what I did, which was like Gran Turismo trick of just go straight through, you know, you hit the rumble strips on one side, you hit the rumble strips on the other side, but you could frickin' straight shot it. Yeah, that's what I did. The first one was fine. The second one, I caught a ridge. And it was that friggin' ridge that I went up and onto my side and then onto my roof, and I slid all the way across the finish line on my roof. I won that race too. And I just remember because we always had announcers too. The announcer was going, and here he comes on his roof. What a not marksman, showman. Hey, just showing us all what he can really do. Oh, good. Oh, yeah, that's nice. You know, just come scooting across the line upside down on your roof. I mean, I was typical for that because, I mean, when I was younger, I was frickin' fearless. Nowadays, I'm a little bit more, I don't know, I'm not what you call necessarily skittish. I've not been in ever major wreck that caused any significant anything, right? Nothing to ever report other than racing. But yeah, no, it was like, it was, I mean, it was a different time, but yeah, no, man, I miss those, because each season you have 12 races. Yeah, 12 races across the ice, and then, of course, 12 main races, I believe. Was it 10? No, it was 12. Everyone got to participate in 12, and then they did like a championship round, and then whoever, the top 6 or so that won, got to race in the final double jeopardy type round. And whoever was in the top 3 would win prizes. I won a few prizes. I actually won quite a few of the races. Not all of them. Like, I mean, I was good, but it wasn't that good type stuff. I did alright. I did pick up that one. It's way too heavy. That one's 890 versus 90 of each of these. And these stack better. But yeah, thinking about it, man, did I ever have fun doing that stuff. Just another thing in history that young people these days will never experience because there are just way too many rules and regulations now that just prevent fun, as I would put it. But I mean, in some regards, I understand where they're coming from. I say it because it's a shame for the rest of us because we did know how to do it in somewhat of a safe manner of things. I'm just not gonna put this in here. I'm just gonna push it off this side. Just get it out of the drive. Let it ferment. So yeah, we did it in a manner of speaking and stuff, but I mean, I understand where people nowadays wouldn't know how to do it as safe as we did it, and unfortunately I think that would be detrimental to a lot of people's health. So I understand in a lot of ways why they don't do it. And I even did rallycross for a while too. I love that. Actually, I loved racing in general. But again, all in the local area, it was like, nope, can't do that anymore. That's too dangerous. You could hurt yourself. Well, I could walk out of our house tonight, slip on the ice, and that'd be the end of it. I mean, context. I mean, anything can happen at any time. You hope it doesn't, but you always just prepare for the worst and prepare for the best, expect the worst. That's usually how it goes. So yeah, that's all done. 21, 22 we could always do. 10 is another shorty. 32 we just did. That was a decent one. 21, 22, 17, and 21. So that's decent. Oh yeah, Fields 50s and whatnot. That's these guys. So I have 56 and 50. But, I mean, that one I do want to buy. I'd do a bunch of landscape and stuff for. I mean, it's 162,000, but we also want to put a mill there at some point, so we gotta do a bunch of work with that. 32 is another farm site. 65 is a good one. What? We have 65 as a contract. We do not. 69. Everyone likes the 69. No, we don't. No. Anybody that's ever done a 69 in their life will tell you it is not what it's cracked up to be. I will tell you that from first-hand experience. That is not what it's cracked up to be. Oh, 69. That is 69. What the? Accept contract. Fermenting stave. Okay, which fermenting stave? Oh, this one. Nope. That one. That one over there. Okay, let's grab the swather and let's do 69. Yep, I will never do 69ing again. Everybody says otherwise, just no. And I know some people will go, well, what happened that it was so bad? I'll tell you what happened. Girl farted in my face and it was gross and disgusting. I'll never do it again. But nothing beats the one time that yeah. There's just things that just... It's gross. you think about it later, and it's like, did that actually really just happen? Yes, yes, it did. And you just shake your head and go, I can't believe it. Well, it happened. I mean, have I ever found the perfect woman? No. I've been with a lot of women, but I mean, I will honestly say there's quite a few that it's a shame that it didn't work out. And I did, honestly, the best of my abilities, try my best. But it's just two different places at two different times, and it's like, it just doesn't work. Don't get me wrong, I've had a lot of fun over the years. But I can honestly say, a couple of my friends in that, we've been playing around just, and it's actually turned into a drinking game is what it's actually turned into, is online dating. We just do the free stuff, but I mean, online dating is freaking hilarious, alright? Because depending on the reactions you get and the things that you do, you can actually make it into a pretty awesome drinking game. And it's like, would you do this one? Nope. Would you do this one? Nope. You should do this one. Oh, hell no. And we were actually starting to get to the point where we can actually physically see people's preferences before we ever see their details. We look at the picture and go, that's a liberal. You scroll down going, that's a liberal. You go, up until online dating profiles and stuff like that, I would have said to anyone that they're full of crap, that you can't tell somebody's political or cultural aspects by their picture. But after seeing what I've seen, holy crap. Oh, I tell you, this world that we live in is something freaking else. I got nothing, man. I've seen some stuff, but I mean, I've got nothing. But yeah, no, we settle down some nights and have a few beers, and we start looking at profiles, and it's like, would you ever go out with this person? And you look and go, I honestly don't think that person is real. Then, of course, you see a couple profiles and you go, okay, as a person like me can understand for photo editing and stuff, that's AI. That is 100% AI. And I remember my one friend looked at that and went, well, okay, if that's AI, like, what are they trying to accomplish with this? Because obviously the person ain't going to look like that. It's called catfishing. They purposely try to lure you in with their beautiful looks that are obviously fake, and then they try to get you to buy stuff for them. It's kind of like modern age gold mining. Oh. I just bought a wife. I went, yeah, I get that. Actually, he scored. To this day, I don't know how the hell he ever worked that out. She is drop dead gorgeous. She has a personality for days. And she is by far making the rest of us go, super intelligent. And when I say he lucked out, she has a better paying job than he does. So, I mean, he looks like me. It's that butt fucking ugly type sort of esque feel. And you just go, how did you ever manage this? And he goes, to this day, I don't know. Well, you must have done something right in your past life. And he goes, oh, well, that could have been. He says, I'm a moron. I'm not very good looking. She has a better job than me. But yet, it's just perfect. I went, yep. And don't ever take it for granted. I mean, we can be dumbasses, we can bullshit, we can drink, we can do all the hootenanny and everything else. But at the end of the day, we're pretty meek and mild. We talk the game, but we don't actually play the game. Although, the way she talks, I swear she plays the game. Or she used to. Well, all of us still go to this day going, what? How? I don't know. I was drunk and I asked her out at the bar once. I mean, I've tried that a few times. It doesn't really work out real well. Actually, I don't do the bar thing anymore either. Those days are long past. I mean, every time I went to a frickin' bar, it was basically, let's fight the big guy. Oh, crap. Every frickin' time. Well, not every time, but pretty much every other time. I don't know how many times I've ended up at a frickin' bar in a particular redneck central in Alberta. I'm gonna say the name, but you could probably read between the lines of where it is. Yeah, it was, yep, let's feed the big guy a drink of rye and see where the magic lies. I mean, that's where I learned how to two-step, but I still remember how to two-step. I line dance, too. Not that that's a skill that is useful at any point in time in my life ever again, but I ain't two-step. I do line dancing. I don't even like country music, but oh boy, you get a rye into a fellow and magic starts happening. Then it's all of a sudden, but I don't like the way you are looking at my gal. I'm going to take you outside and give you a licking. And it's like, yeah, okay, dude. I get outside and go, okay, you doing this, or are you just sitting there puking in the corner? Ah, he's coming at me. Okay, thump. And he's back in the corner. Unfortunately, the big guy knew how to fight, so I mean, there was a few times. I mean, it happened to my father too, but different scenarios. I was in a bar fight, and this big bejesus burly bugger of a dude came up to me and just fucking clobbered me. Didn't say, hey, I'm taking you outside or anything. He just fucking clobbered me. And a buddy of mine looks at me. I look at him and go, my turn? Guy turned white as ghost and ran out of the bar. And I looked at my buddy and went, you know, I'm glad that worked the way it did, because man, did that frickin' hurt. But with a straight face and everything else, I just looked at him and went, is it my turn? And the guy just looked at me and went, oh crap. I mean, pound for pound, this guy was probably 100 pounds on me at that point. I wasn't very big then. I am now. I'm not what you say I'm overweight by any stretch of the imagination. Okay, I got a little bit of a beer gut. I drink beer. Natural. Normal. It's going to happen. But I'm actually quite muscular. Like, I got the full pecs. My biceps are bigger than most bodybuilders, but again, the size. Context there. When I say bodybuilder's size, they're not ripped per se, but size-wise, they're bigger than most. I mean, I average around 14 inches around my biceps. I mean, it's decent size. And that's because I work. I'm in construction. I have big arms. But, I mean, I have construction strength, not bodybuilder strength. In some regards, I almost need the beer gut to frickin' balance myself. Especially when you consider the stuff I actually move and lift. like I was talking to an actual bodybuilder. One of the guys I was actually talking to, and kind of context with it too. And he goes, yeah, so, I'm doing pretty good. I average about 140 for curls and all this and that. I'm going, hey, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I'm going to say that's bad. That's pretty good. Then he goes, okay, so he says, here's the dumb part. On a normal day, how heavy is the objects that you're moving? And I said, well, in comparison right now, we're doing a retro build of a shop. We're converting an old cowshed into a shop. So we're building and we're lifting mostly 2x10s, regular spruce and stuff like that. So, I mean, they're not overly heavy, I thought. They're about 83 pounds a piece. And I'm turning them around with one arm, and I'm lifting them straight in the air and stuff like that. And then it dawned on me, I went, these are 16-footers in that. Here's a dumb thing. I lifted up a 20-foot beam. I say 20-foot because we stagger our joints and we make it a double beam. Then we put the triple up after, right, to strengthen it. That double beam, 20 feet long. It's a double. That means it's about, I'd say it's about 200 pounds. I lifted that 12 feet in the air onto one end and carried it up the ladder in the middle. And I put it up there like it was nothing. And he kind of giggled and went, uh-huh. And he says, yes, us bodybuilders, we do supersets and everything else. He says, but what I should probably do is get a job in construction for a while and work the other muscles. I said, yeah, you probably should, because you'd be surprised how out of shape you are, even though you're a bodybuilder. And then it dawned on me. I went, yeah, the other month, we moved 6x6s, 16-foot 6x6s, pressure treated, PWF. Not the regular ones, the PWF, the ones that are actually designed to be put in the ground. Those things are 220 pounds a piece. I picked them up and put them on my shoulder and carried them with one arm. And it was going, yep. Says, remind me if I ever meet you in real life, don't pick a fight with you, because I'm pretty sure that would be a lose-lose scenario. And I said, you get a couple good hits on me, but that would be about it. And it's another thing that I take for granted is, yes, okay, I'm 6'5". I am a tank. I know that. I'm not going to hide it. I used to hide it. I don't anymore, because it's like I don't care. I am what I am. I know I'm a big guy. But, the work that I do and everything else, I take it for complete granted. That, the stuff that we move around, the stuff I pick up and that, to me, it's not heavy. To the average person, people go, I can't move that. This one guy that, it gets me that he's, because again, I take it for granted. I figured for sure that he would be, clearly able to pick this frickin' dishwasher up. And this was a dishwasher. I admit this was a beast of a machine. About 300 pounds. I mean, it's solid stainless steel. It's a bigger dishwasher than you think. It's not like one of the built-in ones. This is its own unit. It's you can technically roll it around the kitchen if you want. You can make it. It's an island, all right. It's a stainless steel island with a butcher block top. I mean, this thing is 300 pounds. And the guy says, I can't move this thing. I don't know what I'm gonna do, because I need it in the kitchen, right? We're gonna need it for Christmas. I can't move it. And he goes, do you think you can help and maybe hook it up? And that's what I did this morning. And then I looked at it and went, yeah, sure. And he goes, this thing's like 300 pounds. It says package weight about 300 pounds. I went, yeah, okay. And he looked, and I looked at it, and went, okay. And I said, basically, just make sure that everything's clear out of my way, and I'll move it for you. The guy says, are you sure? I went, yeah, pretty sure. Well, picked it up from the bottom and carried it in. Was it heavy? Yeah, it was. I'm not scared to admit it on that one that it was heavier than one would perceive. It, not like I can feel it in my mid back right now and a bit of my shoulder blades, but I mean, overall that's not bad. I mean, I still have shingles, for bloody sakes. My hip is still killing me, but that's the shingles. It's not because of moving that. But yeah, no, I just bear hugged it, carried it, put it down in his kitchen, and he just looked at me and went, that's insane. I went, you can't do that? He says, why do you think I phoned you? He says, no, I can't. Yeah, again, context, I take it for granted. I can move stuff like that. Do I pay the price afterwards now? Yep, a little bit, but I mean, the look on the kid's face. I mean, he's like he even said that he goes to the gym 4 times a week and works out all the time. And he tried to lift the box from when it got delivered, and he basically, like he says, I turned white. The girlfriend looked at me and said, phone someone. I said, well, why did you phone a contractor to move it? He says, I didn't think about if the contractor could move it. He says, I was thinking about what would it cost to get it put in, right? Because this thing moves around, so you need a swivel base on it so you can, obviously the water drain and the water put in and power, right? So you gotta, it's got this stupid swivel sleeve that you can basically scroll around the kitchen with if you need be. Weird design. I've never seen anything like it. But it does work. Oops. I want that, but I don't want that. Because I'm going to steal a baler that's in behind the baler. Then I'm going to... Oh, other one. That one. Then I'm going to quickly go downstairs, do the Be Right Back screen, and I'm going to feed Mr. Fuzz. Mr. Fuzz will want food. Believe me, that big frickin' cat will want food. And what? He's another one. He fits in the same category as the rest of us. He's big, but he's not fat. That's just a really, really big male cat. That is super friendly. If you want the most lovable cat on the planet, yeah, he is a people person. But I still wouldn't want to threaten him. Yeah, and he basically knows it too. He walks around the house like he's a frickin' bulldog. Put that down, turn you on. I said turn you on. GVB. GVB. Today's sponsor, GVB. It's just the keys I'm pushing. I be pushing keys. And FYI, it is still the rat baler, so I can't be cruising along too fast here. And well, these are the big 180s. Okay, I forgot to switch back to the 150s. I'm going, I should be popping out a bale anytime soon now. Nope, I should not be. It's just a really big bale. Really big bale. So we're no longer 5500s. We are a bit larger than that. Considering there's 5500. So these are 75s. That's not bad. Alright. I will be back shortly with some more fun facts of my life. Oh, welcome back, everyone. I've made it back from the lovely Cataday. He's been fed. We're all good. So back to the old farm. It shouldn't take us too long to get this all done for this contract. And depending on it, I might actually, once I get this field done, I mean, it'll take us a little bit tonight to finish this one, but once we get this field done, that'll probably be it for tonight. It's only May 1st. I thought it was way later than that, but we'll skip ahead one day after this one. We'll see where we sit. Probably, I'd say we'd probably play for another hour. Get a lot done in an hour. Got a lot done in 2 hours. Got 3 major contracts and half my stuff, so I mean, one cannot complain. Instantly zip 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 zip. How's there stuff over there? Did I miss that before? Well, we're gonna have bales in this one. They're gonna be freaking huge, and I tell you, at the end of the day, the best part to this whole thing is I get to sell more bales. So hopefully I will have some decent income off this one. I mean, this contract is 14,000, I believe, isn't it? It's 14,000. 14,000. So yeah, we'll have 14,000 from the contract, and I'm hoping at least another 60, maybe 80,000 with the sale of some bales. And they're at my stave again, so I mean, even with the giant bales, I mean, we're still knocking off some decent amounts here. So yeah, we won't get harvesting tonight, obviously, unless I really skip ahead. I mean, it'd be nice to get some of these haying contracts done. And we are getting ahead. Like, I mean, we are basically borderline broken even from what we spent on new equipment, like our new tractor. We're doing all right in that context. I think I might have scooped a bale here. I rolled it out a bit. There we go. We have made about 60, 70,000 off of bales tonight. We got the weeding done, so that's done. That's huge. Yeah, overall we're doing all right. I got nothing to complain about here. And I'm old and crotchety, so I mean, I got things to always complain about. I'm not that old. Some days I feel that old, but I mean, I'm not that old. I mean, actually, I've worked through. So far, I've worked through the shingles. I've had it for about a month and a half. And I have to say, it is getting better. I am feeling better. I'm not as so exhausted as I once was. I feel like I have a lot more energy. And, like, I did start my, normal time for stream tonight, 8 o'clock, and we're still going, and I'm still feeling good. So, I mean, I think the shingles are starting to go into remission, so I'm hoping. Oh man, am I ever hoping. But apparently there's a lot of people in my area that have gotten these type of shingles now, and I don't know. I don't know if it's another new virus coming around or going around or whatnot. I mean, it wasn't cough, cough, sick, sick, hacky, hacky type thing. But this one, it was definitely up on the pain scale. Like, it wasn't like, a lot of people don't know this, but I had a severe issue with my knee quite a few years ago now, actually. That would have been 2011, 2012 when I blew my knee out. So that was the most incredible pain I ever felt in my life. So, I mean, that one was really bad. The shingles, it's bad, but I wouldn't say it's that bad. I mean, it's tolerable. That's better probably, or the best way to put it is it's tolerable. I know it's there. Most of the time it's a dull pain in my hip now. It's not even a sharp pain. It's just it's pain. But it's not it's not as bad as it once was. That's one way to put it. It's nowhere near as bad as it once was. It's now just a dull, achy pain. Which, okay. I mean, it's still there, but I mean, I'm getting over it. When I first had it, I had 3 days of freaking hives, which I never get hives. Then I had basically 2 weeks of excruciating burn, and pulse. It was sharp pulsations from my hip all the way down to my ankle. That was brutal, that part. Still not as bad as my knee, but still brutal. But yeah, no, now it's I think what the biggest thing is I didn't let it control me, if that makes any sense. I basically just, it's like, yeah, okay, I have it. I went to the hospital. I know I have it. I was diagnosed with it, so it's like, yeah, okay, it's not like it's necessarily in my head type thing. It's a legitimate freaking issue. But I think working the way I have been has helped it. I mean, I don't know how many people would probably go, okay, I have shingles. The doctor said don't work for 3 to 6 months. That's not an option for me. I mean, to run a business and run a crew and everything else, I can't afford to not be working. That doesn't work. So it's like, okay, well, I basically go bankrupt, or like take the time off, go bankrupt, or fuck it, just work. Can't be all that bad. I mean, there's some days that I basically wanted to go in a corner and cry, but I mean, I worked through it alright. But I mean, I still gotta be careful. Like, even, like I said, I moved that dishwasher today. Yeah, it was a fairly heavy friggin' unit. I'm starting to feel it now, but I'll just have a drink of scotch and that'll cure that problem. Yeah, I'll be fine by morning. Felt like I was having a friggin' heart attack the one night, though, with the friggin' shingles, because, oh, I forgot that I was doing round bales. What do you know? It's that time of night. I will come back and get that. Yeah, anyways, sometimes I kind of forget that I have shingles, and I do the stuff that I normally do, and then afterwards I pay the price by basically it flares up in the middle of the night when I'm trying to sleep. I roll over onto that side, and it's like, okay, I remember. I know what you did. And then everything's fine. But even the guy that works with me, he says, you're not definitely a normal person. I said, oh, thanks. And he goes, no, really, when you think about it. He says, how many people would find out they have shingles and not work? They would just go, okay, well, now I don't have to work for 3 to 6 months. And he says, yeah, you don't let it. He says, you put up a good fight. You don't let it really bother you. I said, well, it bothers me. It's just I try not to think about it. But I mean, 2 of my lifesavers right now. And I don't say, and I will never say that this is a good idea for everyone. It works for me. That's why I still do it. It's ibuprofen because it's an anti-inflammatory. It helps keep things reduced for pain wise, because I mean, if you have swelling, you're gonna have pain then. So it keeps the swelling down and all that. And then I have a drink of scotch at night, and I say it works for me. I will not work for everyone, and I will never say that everyone should start drinking scotch, because I mean, everyone's different. That works for me. It's worked for me for last, well, at least 25 years. I want to say 30. It's probably getting close to 30. Yeah, actually, when you think about it, it's probably getting close to 30 years. Oh, that's depressing. It's like you start thinking about it going, okay, I'm this old. How long have I been doing this stuff for? Oh, that's depressing. I mean, I even look at it and go, holy crap, I've been out of school that long? Feels like I graduated yesterday. I'm actually quite happy I didn't graduate yesterday. I don't even know how kids actually freaking learn anymore. I forgot that I'm pulling a freaking baler. That's twice now. I'm gonna loop around and get that. Yep, bag strip right there. Yeah, no, I honestly don't know if I would pass the way they're doing their stupid crap nowadays. Like, I mean, grade 1 we even learned basic math. You had to learn basic arithmetic, and we didn't get the option to use calculators. You had to learn how to do this stuff. I don't understand kids these days. I don't get it. I mean, even when I was going to school, that was on the borderline when they quit teaching us how to spell, which was the worst mistake anyone could make. It made a bunch of illiterate idiots. And then you get up to a higher level of frickin' education, and they're going, well, why can't you do this? You were taught this. No, I wasn't. Oh, then the worst part. This is, I mean, it's not really the worst part, but I mean, I consider myself basically a goofball, right? I've been in construction pretty much my whole life, right? When somebody says, well, how much experience do you have? I can literally say I've got 25 years experience and be honest with saying it. And people my age might be able, on average, to say, oh, I've got 15 years. I've got at least 10 years experience on pretty much everyone my age. And they go, well, how is that possible? I started work before you? Like, I shit you not, I started working before you. I started working when I was basically 10 years old. Or, no, I worked even before then. But, I mean, I hold down, I was good at least 16, 17 when I was a site foreman. So, that's usually where I base my level on. Did I do other contracts and everything before then? Yes, I did. But I don't consider anything beyond that, like anything back further, to be considered as experience, because I was too young to be considered that. But 16, 17, running my own group of guys as a site super, I consider that as the base model when I started working. And when you really start breaking it down and everything, that's how I got my experience and everything else. So I don't hold an actual ticket per se in trades, but I do have one ticket. I do indeed. I have a general contracting certificate, which, I still have that up, huh? Which you do have to go to school and get. You basically have to have knowledge of basics of every trade in construction, which I do. And I can even list off codes and everything off by heart because I, oddly enough, know them. And I challenged that test. I walked in and went, I'm here for a test. And the guys went, well, okay, well, but have you done this, this, and this, and this? I went, no. I said, when I say I'm challenging the test, I'm challenging the test. Well, most people that challenge the test don't actually do well on it. I said, I don't care. I'm going to challenge the test. 98%. I missed one question because I read it wrong. I read it backwards what it should have been. That was my own fault. I knew the question. It's just I read the frickin' thing wrong. And my brain didn't compute it. It was like, crap. So yeah, no, that was my own fault. So I can't blame anyone for that one. But I mean, I got it hands down. Then the guy looked at me and went, I went through the schooling to do this, and I did all this and that. And he says, I got 78% when I took mine. I said, really? How many years experience do you have? And he goes, well, I've got 12 years construction experience. I went, yeah, I got 25. What? Well, I didn't have 25 then. I guess I should say I have 20 years experience. He goes, what? I went, yeah. So I obviously, I know more than you do. That's insane. Well, kind of, but now I've been getting berated every month, once or twice from our local, not even community college, but the provincial freaking government a few times, saying, would you like to teach? No. We will pay you X number of dollars to come teach. Tempting, but no. But you have so much experience. Yes, no. I do, but the problem I have is I love to teach young people that, yes, getting into a trade is one of the best decisions you would ever make in life. And I'm honest when I say that. I mean, trades are fantastic. Everyone should actually be pushing their kids into trades more than technical schools and learning how to do podcasts and streaming and all this all fun jazz. Getting a trade is actually probably one of the best things a young person could probably do. If anything else, as a secondary, because your hopes and dreams will be shattered later on in life. Like this bale, for instance. That worked out too well as an example. Yeah, always pick up a trade. You're always going to have work. So, it's one of those things to consider. I'm going to bring the tractor down again, aren't I? And I always like to teach young people how trades work and things like that, and yada yada yada. But I don't think I could teach it, and for one major reason. I pick up the jobs that I pick up because it's very specific things that nobody else knows about. And I don't want to necessarily teach those skills to somebody else because it could be detrimental in my own work. I know I just said that technically speaking, I could very well, everyone should pick up a trade because you'll never be out of work. And I did say those words. Honestly, I did. I did just say them. But, again, I have very specific set of skills that most people nowadays don't have. That's how I stay busy. So I don't necessarily want to shoot myself in the foot and teach somebody else how to do it, and then find out that that aspect of my job I no longer have because now the workforce is flooded with all these people that now have the same skill set. So, in some regards, I'm all for people picking up trades. That's a great thing. Everyone should do it. It keeps people busy. It keeps money flowing in the economy and things like that. But I don't want to necessarily teach what I know because it's a little selfish in some regards. I get that. But at the same time, how I learned how to do that stuff was by falling flat on my face several times. And to be honest with you, unless you've fallen flat on your face a few times, I don't know if it would necessarily also basically portray or I don't know if you could extrapolate those skills the same way as how I learned. And I think that the part of learning process of specific skills and everything else are directly related on failing. It's kind of one of those things is it's gravely important actually, you could say, that you have to fail in order to succeed. I hate to sound like a self-help book, but I mean, unfortunately, that is probably one of the best things I could possibly ever say to someone is, pick up a trade, but don't feel bad about failing a few things. That is one of the best tools to learn. I mean, you could extrapolate that knowledge anyways throughout anything and say, okay, well, if you don't fail and you never try, you'll never fail, which means you never learn. And I really hate to say it, but I mean, it is an honest truth. I have failed I don't know how many times at various things, but because I feel I've done better in turn. I don't think I'm going to need anywhere near these bales here, but I'm hauling them anyways. I've made a frickin' road. No way I can load them again. I just want everything off the field so when it does finish, I can just finish the contract without having to frickin' worry about it. That's kind of where I'm going with this. So yeah, no, if anybody asks me for personal advice in life, I will honestly say, fall flat in your face. That's one of the best things you can ever learn. Now, I don't mean go out and kill someone. Please don't do that. That is falling flat on your face and going beyond rock bottom. Don't. But I mean, don't be scared to try something, and if it doesn't work, oh well. Yeah, when you fail, you can look at that same situation and you can find a solution and go, okay, this is why it failed. How can I solve this problem so it doesn't do it again? And a lot of times, like, a lot of what I do in my business, like in construction and renovations and everything else, is a massive problem solving. Like, again, from my experience, I can walk into a place and somebody says, hey, look, I don't know what's happening, my toilet won't flush. Good example. Okay, that's a plumbing job, right? And you say, okay, that's a plumbing job. It won't flush. My experience, I'm not scared to go, okay, why? There's got to be a reason why it doesn't. And someone will go, well, okay, I'll phone the plumber. They'll know. Maybe they might. Maybe they won't. We don't know. I'm here now. I can quickly figure this out. And I mean, this happened actually not that long ago. The guy phones me up and says, hey, I can't get a hold of a freaking plumber at all. And I mean, I've got family coming over soon. I've scoured the internet, and you say that you can do small menial jobs and plumbing and stuff. Could you take a look at this for us? And I look and go, oh yeah, okay, I'll come by right away and take a look, right? Sure. Yeah, the toilet won't flush. It's backing up water. I tried plunging it. It's just making the problem worse. And I look at it and go, okay, is there access to this in like the basement? Because there's a main floor bathroom. And the guy says, no, there isn't. And he goes, that's a problem. And I get it. And I went, okay, but could I still look where it's coming in? Yep. Look and go, okay, no obvious signs of water, so we don't have to worry about the pipe itself isn't leaking, so it's not a pipe problem, it's a toilet issue. And I said, okay, well, obviously you've used it, you flushed it, and there's stuff floating in it. It's kind of gross right now. Okay. I said, well, first of all, let's see if we can get it to flush. He says, well, how do we do that? And I said, you're going to laugh at this, but we're going to stick Dawn dish soap in it. We're going to leave it for a few minutes. And I said, make me a coffee. I'll sit around and we'll see if we can get this going. So I make a coffee. And, yep, soap starts to work. And I said, now, I'm going to turn the water off. We don't need it filling up and flooding over and everything else. So turn the water off. That's the first major thing, right? And I said, obviously the water supply works. And I flush and, yep, the valve works. Sometimes that could be a problem where the valve doesn't shut off. So sometimes you gotta sweat a frickin' valve off, or you gotta do something. Some way or another, you gotta put a frickin' valve on or whatnot. This one wasn't too bad. Holy crap. That's 20% right there. 2 bales. 10% a bale. Okay, this is a sketchy load. Sketchy. Just because I loaded or caught it wrong. 28%, huh? Ooh. So anyways, I went, okay, well, the soap is actually working. It's slowly draining away now. I said, that's a huge positive. And he says, so, what happened? And I said, well, biggest thing, once the water goes, I'm not just going to say, hey, look, we cleared it out. No more issues. We should actually take a closer look at this. And he goes, okay, sure. So you're going to pull it? And I went, yep. And I said, just need a garbage bag. That way when I pull it, we can just put the toilet on the garbage bag and then we don't wreck your floor type thing. And he goes, okay. I mean, that makes sense. So I pulled it and that. And I looked at it and went, oh, I found your problem. And he says, what's that? And I said, is this the original toilet to the house? And the guy looks at me funny and goes, yeah. And I said, and it's a very cheap builder's grade toilet. And he goes, well, probably I've owned the house for like 32 years, so, I mean, it's old. He says, the toilet's always had a little bit of issue, but never really chalked it up to anything, right? Uh-huh. okay. And he says, so what's the problem? I said, see how rough it is on the inside of the pipe? On, like, where the trap is built into your toilet. And the guy says, yeah. I said, okay. See this big crack that's running down it? And he goes, oh. I went, yeah, your toilet has cracked over time. And toilet paper is getting caught on it, which means it is fighting itself, essentially. And it will not flush. I said, unfortunately, this requires a new toilet. And he goes, I mean, obviously, we could put it back on. It'll work for a time, but it's not going to work forever. And so, I mean, it depends on what you want to do and what your finances and budget are for this. I said, we could quickly put a new toilet in. And I said, just go buy another one real quick, put it in. I said, and he goes, okay, what's a good brand? And I said, depends on what you want. This one's really low. I do a Comfort Height toilet. They're not really that much difference in price. Okay, contract is finished. And we're gonna truck this stuff up right away here. And yeah, put a Comfort Height toilet in, did all the fun stuff, and got it fixed all before his company showed up the next day, and she works like a charm. But again, it's just because I wasn't scared to try a plumber's job. And yes, believe it or not, the Dawn dish soap trick does actually work a lot of the times. You just got to be patient with it, and it won't dissolve toilet paper. But believe it or not, what it actually does is it actually penetrates into the trap area and everything else, and if it's caught on stuff, it'll basically act as lubricant. Turn your water off so you don't flood it over. Hold the plunger down so you get the water flow in there, and you'd be surprised. Don't put one drop of Dawn and the turd is gone type thing. I mean, you gotta squeeze a fair bit in there to work it in. Sometimes you have to agitate it with the plunger a little bit, but she will eventually let go on you. So that trick works. One of the best ways, instead of pouring chemicals down your drain all the time, especially if you got lots of hair and stuff like that, one of the best tricks that actually works is actually boiling water and Dawn dish soap. And then very gently with your plunger, just give it a, not very forcefully, you don't want to blow out the seals or anything in your friggin' drain, but you can very carefully use the plunger and go putunk, and it'll clean out all the crap out of your drain. So there's a life hack for you. It'll also save you a bit of money down the road. Oh, there we go. There's 100,000. I think we're over. I think we're over our limits. I think we're satisfyingly safe. We are. We're actually, for the 5th month in a row, we're actually above board, which is freaking weird. We are, oddly enough, doing alright. Which is just, it's weird, yeah? I may put up another bin, depending on, because the oats fields, and I do have a couple oats fields. We do have some oats, yeah. Oats. We have 2 oats fields, and we have the barley fields. We have 2 barley fields, and we know those little dirty buggers are going to be done pretty soon, so that one of the best course of actions with them is to put them in the big bin first. The oats are neither here nor there. But yeah, no, we got a lot done tonight. I am very pleased with the progress we made on Farming Sim tonight. We have merged ahead victoriously. Victor is victorious, yeah. Alright, we're gonna sleep ahead for the rest of the day, because, well, we've got a lot done, but we still have 3 more days, well, 2 more actually, of May. We must skip ahead of May. 400 loan. Oh, I felt that one coming. What is our 52,000? We're not 60,000, we're 52, so we did go down a bit. That is a heck of a fertilizer job. And weeding job. We will do both of those, 103. And the fertilizing. Well, we got the sprayer. We just need to hook up the tractor to it. And which job is that for? Probably because it's a big field. 103 and, well, that one. That one is the weeding, which we could probably quickly do. Which, oh, 15. 15 needs fertilizer. Okay. I'll just grab this tractor here. Oh, what am I doing? Could use that tractor. We'll use that one. But my fork tractor is here. And the sprayer is there. Which it is fertilizer. At field 15. We'll pick it up and just have him go out there. I should actually repair this thing too. 61,000, so the cost of fertilizer will be about 15-20-ish. Yeah, repair for 45. 17. Lot cheaper to repair now. So yeah, we can get that done. So I mean, that's $40,000 extra with contract after expenses. That's really not bad. And like I said before too, I do appreciate everyone coming out and watching tonight and enjoying some Farming Sim with me and some story time and all that fun stuff of my past, present, and maybe future. We'll see how the future works. Might be fun times ahead. Or kind of hoping fun times ahead. I don't really know if fun times ahead might work out well, but we will play it by ear and see where we sit. I mean, it has been a good night. I mean, we've been going at it for 2.5 hours so far, and we've got a lot done. 4 big contracts. Well, not big, but I mean decent contracts. We made about 200,000 basically on bales and stuff. One thing about this is I should check the animals real quick. They're doing good. I don't have to really worry that much. I don't see any more moo-moos yet. Chickens are nearly got the eggs full there. Bees probably got another freaking pallet sitting there. It's almost 4 pallets. We get some wool again. There's my sprayer. Alright. This one has not fertilizer, this has frickin' weeds. So I gotta go back to the farm anyways and drop that off. And the fork's getting squeaky. It's like a low on camera angle for the bottom here that I can take a look at. But again, if you guys are enjoying the content and whatnot, and you're new or you've been around for a while and just not subscribed yet, think about hitting that subscribe button, as it really does actually help the channels. And of course, that's both on YouTube and Kick. Kick, of course, is a fantastic streaming site, and everyone should come over, hit the follow button if anything else, and subscribe if you can. Send a little cash my way. That's great. Greatly appreciated. Damn it! I got a beard hair that's going up my nose. That's driving me nuts. I don't know if you guys can hear that or anything, but it's freaking driving me nuts. Oh, it's still there. It's not even a mustache hair. That's the worst part. What's going up my nose is actually beard hair. It's curled up and went in. It's just wrong. Swine. Alright, so I need to offload. It's fertilizer and whatever that tank is, we'll just go, yeah, okay, and 23%. And then the weeder, which is only $1,900, but I mean, who cares? Who cares? That's a good title. I mean, it is getting late. The numbers are for viewership are coming down. I get it. Most people don't watch after basically the normal block anyways. So you got Coinbase message. What was that one? Driving out. Oh, just one of them that I don't own anymore. It's gone down badly. Isn't that terrible? I mean, I know a guy that has a ton of it. I guarantee he'll be depressed. I got rid of mine. I've got certain crypto, but not a whole lot. Nothing, not enough of anything for anybody to go, oh, you're going to be a millionaire from it. Probably not. I mean, if I make a couple grand off of it, I will be happy. And I ain't putting much into it because, well, why? What's the point? Best investment is one that you didn't make. That's not entirely true, but I mean, at the same time, I'm not going to be one of those guys that goes like the I saw that in the news, the Hawk 2 girl sent out a freaking meme coin and pocketed all the money and then buggered off with it, and everyone basically lost their shirt. Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. Sorry, ain't my thing. Ain't my thing like a chicken wang. Wait, what? If somebody actually said like a chicken wang, I pushed the wrong button. Yeah, that's just mildly disturbing. Just mild. Alright, we can bounce into this one. There's obviously nothing in here, so we're good on it. This field is obviously rough. Really rough. Hope you like bouncy. Holy crap. Driving in the field this time was not good. Not good. Alright. Hopefully, a whole lot smoother of a field. He isn't bouncing quite as much. Okay, I can see the other prize. 103. I haven't been down that way in a long time. Let's go down there and dig up some ground. I might as well quickly do this one. This one shouldn't take long. It's only $1,900 for crying out loud. That won't go far. I think those are actually working not bad. We should be able to see it. Seeing if we have any more chickens that were laid. No. No, we're actually pretty good on that stuff. Good there. Low on milk again. Oh, reminds me. Only 13 milk. 9,000 slurry. We can handle a bit of... We can handle a little bit of poo. Just a little bit of poo. Just a touch of poo. Just a touch of poo for me and you. Oh, that's just wrong. I am not into scat play. Sorry. Nope. I crossed the line. I don't even like the smell of my own crap. Sorry. Just, it's a whole lot of no. I still, there's things out there that I look and go, that's a fetish, and people like it. What? Of course, probably some would say the same about the weird stuff that I like, but so I mean, yeah, to each their own. Well, we're halfway there. I like my big tractor. I think actually getting that, getting the tractor with the forks and that, like the loader, that was probably one of the best options because it can do a lot of the other stuff that like the skid steer and everything else can't. And it still has forks and everything else. It still has all the equipment. I think that was probably one of the best choices I could have done. I mean, do I miss not having my old John Deere? Yes, the 7810. It was a good tractor. It's just, it could have done the rear twin wheels. Man, I could have done the Howers, eh? Oh, it wasn't the 7810. It was the 4755. Oh, maybe not. I do like the old tractors. That must have been the one with the loader. Then you got the 6R series. I have to look it up again and see which one I had. I think it might have been the 7810 that I had. But having a large tractor with a loader, that is the ticket item there. So that's this guy, I think. Front loader, yeah. So 7R. decent sized tractor. Like, we went with the big engine in that, so it's 388 horse. It's not a small jobber. It's decent. So I think we did all right with it. Weeding haven't started. 7% done already with the fertilizer. He is zooming. That boy out there is zooming. He is busy as a beaver in a pickle jar. I don't know why that came to mind, but that is actually a saying. It's a weird saying, but it is a saying around here. Yeah, it's nothing weirder than a beaver in a pickle jar. Totally 100% a Canadian thing to say. And FYI, I just missed the field. Yep, nothing weirder than that. So now there's going to be a whole pile of people going, yep, I heard a Canadian once say that it's nothing's weirder than a beaver in a pickle jar. Well, only a crazy Canuck would say such things. %5 already. This field is in the bag. Not as bad as the beaver in the pickle jar, though. I can't even remember where I picked that up from. Somewhere. It's one of those fickle mistresses that nobody understands. Hey, 666! Number of the beast! Yeah, not often do you see that. And it's gone. You know how hard it is going to get that perfect number back to 666? I have room in hell, by the way. I say that to a lot of people, and they look at me and go, why would you think such things? Okay. I did things with a girl in high school on the steps of a church. I'm pretty sure there's a room reserved in a certain place for me. Just saying. Hey, times were different back then, right? That's times when you could get away with certain things like that. And she didn't seem to mind either. Frickin' foreign exchange student having a little foreplay on the frickin' steps of the church. In school hours, mind you. That's one of the overtly dangerous things you could do. I mean, no one really necessarily worried about kids escaping downtown in a little village that we had the school at, because I mean the entire population of the village was about maybe 180 people. About 400 people when the school was in, though. So I mean, where were you going to go? You had basically big fields all around the frickin' village, and the village, in which, well, at that time there was the bar, and there was the restaurant was in the bar, and then of course there was the gas station, and at that time there was also the merchant, what the... Oh, the market, fresh market. That's what it was. That was it, man. That was the entirety of the businesses in the village. And then, and the best part is the bar burned down with the hotel and the restaurant included. That was hilarious because we got to see the finest firefighters a man has ever seen before loot the place as it's burning down. Including my frickin' neighbor that stole the stainless steel frickin' cooler door out of the bar. I don't know how he got it off the frickin' hinge, to be honest, but like, I mean, there's flames shooting out the roof of the hotel while these guys are looting booze out of the bar. That tells you what kind of redneck village that I currently reside by. When I say she be redneck, I ain't frickin' kidding ya. Makes Arkansas look a little, well, modernized. It's... Oh crap, I could really move over. It's sad, but true. Don't get me wrong, I still love all those guys, but I mean, there was moments that was like... And the worst part is, when that place was burning down, everyone from basically grade 5 to 12 skipped school that day, with most of the teachers, mind you, and we watched the hotel, bar, and restaurant burn down, because that was some of the most excitement we've seen in a while. Again, it falls under the category of small village life and farms. Again, different times, right? I remember the one time the market sold cigarettes and sold... Basically, it's a fresh market. It's like a convenience store. They sold a wide array of pretty much everything, right? And little buggers, right? We get the idea of, well, we better steal the smokes. Well, we got caught. We didn't get away with it. We got caught right away, and it was like, I get you guys are underage. You're stealing them because you don't want to get busted for underage frickin' smoking. He says, he blatantly said, if you guys want smokes, let me know. And it's like, don't steal from me, just let me know. And it's like, okay, we want smokes. Well, what do you like to smoke? Well, most of them went, I don't know. Me, I went, okay, gotta remember, what was my cousin smoking? What was some of my friends smoke? Oh yeah, Captain Black's. I'd like Captain Black Red, please. He goes, well, you seem to know what brand and everything you need. Yes, I do. It's my personal favorite. It's like, okay, here you go. They look and go, yeah, and don't even remember what I said, right? And it's like, all right, do you need a lighter? Well, obviously, this is the first time I have smokes, right? Yeah, so grab it, and they went, we'll just have his. I'm going to pass them off. Everyone's coughing and hacking. There's me. Oh, it's nice. Wait, how do you know how to do that? 'Cause I smoke? But how do you know how to smoke? And this is junior high, and it's like, because the friends that I associate with are all old buggers, and they tend to smoke cigars. I know what they like, and I know there was a few of them that smoked Captain Blacks, and I miss the old Captain Black Reds. And I say that because, yes, they were flavored. They were actually cherry flavored. No, they weren't. No, they weren't. They weren't Captain Black Cherry. The Reds, I think, were wine here. Anyways, they had a really nice, authentic, almost sweet but not sweet smoke. It was really quite a nice mild smoke. And yeah, our government got away with it, and it wasn't like I got addicted to smoking because of that. No, I like cigars. I've always liked cigars. I don't smoke very many cigars. Like, I can tell you the last time I smoked a cigar. It was about 3 weeks ago. And you know what? That cured my smoking. And I probably won't have another cigar in, well, maybe, I shouldn't say that. I might have a cigar over Christmas. Depends on the family members, but I might have a cigar over Christmas. I have no idea what this actually looks like with the frickin', actually not bad. Oh crap, I actually did a fairly decent job of harrowing this. Yeah, this isn't bad at all. I'll just go down a little further here and come across right about here. That should be about right. I think the first smoke I ever had, I was 5 years old. And it wasn't like I smoked the whole freaking cigar either. It was like I smoked a couple puffs on it and went, hey, that's actually pretty good. And yeah, I mean, my sister doesn't smoke at all. She wants to, but I told her that it's a bad idea. She isn't ready for it. She's older than me, but she isn't ready for it. My father smoked his whole life. My grandfather smoked his whole life. My great-grandfather smoked his whole life. That's on my dad's side. Mother's side smoked. His mother's side smoked. Mom's father's side smoked. So the cravings are genetic, and we know this, and guaranteed. It was going to be natural. But, I mean, everyone says, oh, you get addicted to nicotine instantly. I mean, yes, I get it with Dad, but me? No. I can't smoke cigarettes. I can maybe have a cigarette once in a while, like here, there, once in a blue moon. If somebody offers me a smoke and says, hey, do you want to have a cigarette? I'll say, yeah, okay, sure, I'll take a fag and smoke it with you. And yeah, you know, it's like, yeah, okay, that a little nicotine, a little chemicals, so sure, cured the problem, and I'm fine. I don't do it on a regular basis. Cigars are the cure-all to me. It's like I enjoy a good, nice, smooth cigar once in a while, but after that, it's like, nope, I won't touch them again for a while. Once I cure that nicotine craving with one cigar, I am good for a month or two. And then it's like, you know, I could really smoke a cigar. And I know a few people go, really? And I'm like, yeah, I could really go with a cigar right about now. It's like, yeah, okay, let's have a cigar, and then we're good. But, I mean, the collection of friends that now smoke are getting less and less and less. It's not because they're dying of, like, lung cancer or anything like that. They're dying off because they're old. You gotta remember, I've always been friends with the elders. The old guys. The old guys are where it was at for me. Oh, yeah, I finished this contract when I was 16, I hung out with guys that were typically in their 60s. Right? So, I mean, 30 years later, you're starting to go, holy crap, yeah, the handful has disappeared. Why? Because they're in their 90s. Yeah, of course they're dying off. The people aren't going to live forever. I mean, it's unfortunate. Like, I mean, we've lost quite a few of them. Out of our coffee group when I was 16, which were all the major contractors and friends and the groups and everything. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I say 5 because one of them is 98. Any day could be his last. He still goes to work every day. That's the surprising part. But yeah, 5 that are gone. There was 11 of us total originally. And there are basically 5 that don't go for coffee anymore. there's 3 that don't talk to each other anymore. And I have no idea where they went, but I'm pretty sure they're still alive. They're gone. But there's 3 of us left. Like, I mean, do we have other people come into the coffee group? But no, because they don't have any. They don't have any interests like we do. Like, I mean, there's still a couple of us that group up every year around this time. We're actually already been talking about it. Or we'll sit down, we'll have a scotch and we'll have a cigar. That's why I said that, it's the time of season around Christmas that I will have a cigar again, because that's what we do. And I mean, it's a normal occurrence. We'll sit down, we'll pour scotch, not even on the rocks, we'll just pour scotch and let it mellow for a little bit, sip her down, have a cigar, enjoy the good life and bullshit. And I mean, the collective is disappearing. There's not very many of us left that still do that. I mean, one guy. We used to do that all the time. He was a welder. We end up in his welding shop, and he always had a bottle of scotch underneath the desk. And I mean, you brighten his day. 17,000 again, huh? You brighten his day with buying him a bottle and he'd stick it in the desk, and it was happening big and shit. He did die of cancer. It was actually not part of the coffee group, but he did die of cancer, but not from drinking, not from smoking. He died it from asbestosis, because he used to use asbestos while welding. So unfortunately, we lost him to cancer. So yeah, that's coming good. It's coming along. So yeah, I mean, the scotch drinkers and the cigar smokers that we used to hang out with and do this and do that, they're all basically gone. Young people, actually I say young people, people my age don't do that, alright? They don't settle down as a collective, as contractors or anything, and go, hey, how was this year? How did you do this and that? And hey, how's it going? And all that stuff. Which is a shame, because you know how many jobs we used to pass off to each other? It was like, hey man, I have this one guy, and you should phone him and see what you guys can do, and you do this, you do that. And it used to work. There's none of that. There's too much infighting now. It's a shame. It really is. Oh, I forgot that. I know what I forgot. Yes, actually it's this. We probably got about 20,000 almost. Yeah, almost. What is the price on chicken? We let her go for an extra day. We need to... Oh, it's dropping at 1,800. We should. I hate to, but we should. Spawn. 1, 2, 3. We'll spawn 4 of them. Hey, my... oh, it's out in the field. Well, poop. How am I going to do this? I know how. Let's go pick up the forklift. Yeah, no, you really start looking at it. Like I always was part of the old guys. I never figured it out or understood it, but I was always part of that old guy collective. Like, I mean, guys that were, like I said, I was 16, they were 60. I always grouped up with them. We always shared experiences. We always had good laughs. We knew each other well and everything else. And It is a shame. I miss those days. And again, I hate to say it, but everyone takes it for granted, but it is true. You really do take it for granted. I say this, no way this thing is still on. I think this is it stuck in the ground again? Oh yeah. I don't know how this thing got stuck in the ground, but holy crap, we actually got it out of the ground by putting it on a trailer. Am I in the trailer? Yes. Yes, yeah, yes it is. That's weird. My forklift is forever embedded in things. You notice that tire is not turned near as tight as that tire? I apparently have a busted forklift. Well, this is stupid. This is an auto package frickin' trailer. Why don't I just auto pick it up? Do I even need the forklift? Late at night adventures with the Big Norsk. Not thinking clearly as night goes on. I cannot think clearly now since the brain is gone. Get off. Yep. Alright. No. Get rid of the beads. I don't know how to fix flat tires in this game, but man. That tire, fine. That tire, flat. Yeah, it just dawned on me. This is an auto load type freaking trailer. Why don't I just drive up to, I don't know, the pile and just like load it and then sell it? 1,800 at 16,000 is just a little bit shy of $2,000 per thousand, right? So it'll be about $28,000 here. Tell me if that's enough. Well, there's 3. And incredibly friggin' heavy. We got 16,000 liters of what used to be called chicken. Now it's called boneless chicken thighs. And breasts. Oh boy, we like breast. Don't we, boys? Classic overcompensation there. 29,000. There we go. Guaranteed we are way above board. I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. 58,000 sold products, so we're down a bit from what that was, but not bad. 240 sold wood. We sold 355 or 335. Property income's 1,200 so far. So overall, not bad. But I think it is time tonight for the inevitable to happen. I think it's time for the final I'm getting tired thing, so it is time to say goodnight. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. And if, again, you are new here or you've been around for a while, just not subscribed yet, think about hitting that subscribe button. You can do that below the video on the YouTube side, or the Husko on the bottom right corner. He is super into eating chicken right now. I don't know why, but I mean, he's got to think about the rest of the food group. So, you know, if you see him, smack him upside the head, push that button. Then flip over to the kick side. Hit that follow and subscribe over there as well, as that is one of the great ways to support the channel, and I'm going to use it to support the channels. And of course, there's lots of goodies in the descriptions and stuff below the video as well, so make sure to check all of that out. And yeah, we'll see everyone on the next one. Take care, and thanks for watching.